Tonight in Lynchburg, two Republican city council candidates are alleging election misconduct after last week's primary. WDBJ7's Layla Mitchell is joining us live in studio. Layla, you've been following this race all along. What are the candidates saying?
Yeah, Jean, incumbent Chris Feraldi and challenger Peter Alexander have both accused Lynchburg Registrar's Office of mishandling ballots. This comes as we still don't have the final results. The Lynchburg Republican primary has plunged into turmoil as both candidates, incumbent Chris Feraldi and Peter Alexander, raised serious concerns about the handling of ballots by the Lynchburg Registrar's Office. They fear these issues could impact the election outcome and are calling for a swift resolution. In a detailed statement posted to social media, Vice Mayor Chris Feraldi outlined serious allegations, including what he says was the discovery of ballots in an unsecured drop box. He claims those ballots violate state code.
Thankfully, the McGuire team was present and tipped us off that there were some concerns in the process. We're told that these Dropbox ballots were also merged in with the mail-in ballot, and unfortunately, because of that, it's hard to differentiate whose ballot belongs to who.
Feraldi also alleged that members of the Electoral Board have financial ties and adversary roles with Peter Alexander, raising concerns about impartiality. In a separate statement posted on social media, Alexander echoed some of the concerns about ballot custody and procedural errors, citing broken ballot box seals and insufficient documentation, which he says violates Virginia law. The registrar, Dan Pence, declined to comment directly, but referred WDBJ7 to a statement from the registrar's office that acknowledges a procedural error on election night. The office admits the Dropbox was not checked after 7 p.m., leading to the discovery of 7 ballots the following Friday. These ballots were processed but not tabulated pending further investigation. Despite the concerns and a narrow 21-vote lead, Feraldi declared himself the victor in Lynchburg's Ward 4 council race, saying he is confident in the election's integrity.
I'm confident that we have the proper representation down there, that we will have the letter of law will be followed, and that every legitimate vote will be counted.
I also reached out to Alexander's campaign, and he did not reply in time for the airing of this story. But Jean, the State Board of Elections says it will certify election results on July 2nd.
All right, and such a close race there, so every vote definitely counts. Layla.